In this video, you will learn how to identify and avoid choppy price action using moving averages, plus 6 other ways to use them. One of the most frustrating things in trading is getting chopped up during consolidation. I have spent 2 years studying these two lines. I am sharing that experience now, so you can learn to use them without wasting time like I did. Let's begin. Moving averages aren't just indicators, they are a smooth line graph of the average price. This perspective gives you clarity that candlesticks alone cannot provide. They actually show you what price has been doing from a different angle, so you can read them just like you read candlestick price action itself. That means moving averages have their own trends, reversals, and market structure as well. When the 20 and 200 simple moving averages are crossing each other back and forth like this, it's a sign of indecision. In a real trend, these two lines expand away from each other. So, if they are looking tangled like this, it's a good sign to stay out. Notice when price is stuck between the 20 and 200. One is acting as a floor and the other is acting as a ceiling. That is a compression zone. I don't take trades inside these areas and I wait to see the moving averages expanding away from each other. 200 simple moving average shows average price of the last 200 candles. If a market is trending, price must stay away from this line. But if price stays close, like in this example over here, it means average value hasn't changed for a long time. The market is sideways and price will likely keep chopping above and below the 200. When this happens, you'll notice the line is almost flat and parallel to the ground. Think of that flat 200 SMA as a magnet. In a range, price doesn't have the energy to escape, so it just keeps getting pulled back to that average. So, we have identified the chop and we know when to stay out. But how do we know when the market has finally gained separation from that moving averages and a real trend has started? This leads us to method number 2, price positioning. Once price finally establishes separation from the 200 SMA, I look for a specific mechanical alignment. For bullish bias, I want price holding above the 20 SMA and the 20 SMA holding above the 200 SMA. So price is above both averages and 20 is above the 200. For a bearish bias, I want price holding below the 20 SMA and 20 SMA holding below the 200 SMA. So price would be below both moving averages and 20 would be below the 200. If this alignment isn't there, like in this daily chart where price is above the 20 simple moving average but still stuck under the 200 simple moving average, we should be very careful. Most of the time, this isn't a reversal. It's just a deep retracement if the lines aren't in total sync. I don't have the confluence I need when price is looking like that. I wait for the whole puzzle to match before I pick a side. It's not enough to see price sitting below the moving averages. This is where we often see traders get trapped. We have to look at the slope of the moving averages as well. Think of the angle of these lines as our speedometer. If price drops below the 20 and the 200, but the 200 SMA or 20 SMA pointing up like a ramp, we don't just rush for taking a short position. Because most of the time, that's just a deep retracement or maybe a warning sign before a reversal. If we blindly short there, we are betting against the most powerful momentum. So we will usually get caught in a trap when the market snaps back. To avoid this, we look for alignment of angle. For a high probability short setup, we don't just want price below the lines. We want to see the angle of the 20 simple moving average and 200 simple moving average is turning and pointing downwards. If price is below the lines, but the lines are still looking up, then that means the market is in conflict. In my experience, if the price and the slope are fighting each other, the best trade is no trade. We wait for the angle to confirm the move. Method 4 is about alignment. We want the candlestick structure and the moving average structure to tell us the same story. If they don't match, we have a problem. In a high conviction trend, we want to see two things happening at once. For candlestick structure, price is making clear higher highs and higher lows. For the moving average structure, the 20 SMA is looking above and staying below the price. And same thing applies for 200 simple moving average as well. Moving averages are looking upward and price is above both of the moving averages, and price also printing new highs and new lows, continuing going higher. When we have got this synchronization between the price and the moving averages, we have a green light. But look at this example over here. Price starts making lower lows and lower highs, but the moving averages are still looking up. This is a warning. It means the immediate price action is breaking down, but the averages haven't caught up yet. If the candles and the lines don't agree, we don't have a setup. We wait for the alignment to return. Now that we have the alignment, we need to look at how price returns to these lines. When the trend is really strong, price tends to keep below this 20 simple moving average, and it either taps it and then drops lower, or just gets near close to it and keeps dropping lower with some speed and momentum. But then we have the deeper pullback. This is when a candle body closes above the 20 SMA and maybe stays above it, like this example over here. Normally, I would take short setups like this one, but in this example, this short setup would be failing. So what I have to do over here is just wait for a nice candlestick closure below the 20 SMA, like this for example. Or maybe even I can wait for a fractal liquidity sweep right after price closes the 20 SMA. This shows me that price is willing to turn back lower and then sweep a liquidity inside of that range and then turn back lower once again. As you can see over here, price is consolidating and staying below the 20 SMA, using it as a ceiling, a nice resistance level. And also all of the simple moving averages and price would be showing the same direction. That means the alignment is back and the retracement is over, so we can join the trend once again. Method 6 is the crossover. Most traders are taught that when the 20 SMA crosses the 200 SMA, it's an automatic signal to buy or sell. But if we trade every cross blindly, we will get chopped to pieces. We have to tell the difference between a real structural reversal and a fake out. If the moving averages are crossing while the lines are flat, like the tangle we talked about earlier, that cross means nothing. It's just a noise. We also see what we can call a manipulation cross, like this example or this one over here. This is when price quickly crosses both lines. The 20 whips over the 200, but then price snaps right back. To avoid getting chopped up or getting trapped with something like this, we look for the expansion. We don't just want to see the lines touch each other. We want to see the 20 SMA cross the 200, and then we want to see the moving averages are expanding away from each other. They are getting further away. Also, price is confirming it with its imbalances or lower lows and lower highs. I mean, with its structure. When we see all of these alignments, we get a chance for higher probability setups. Method 7 is using moving averages as dynamic support and resistance levels. Everyone knows that these lines can act as a floor or a ceiling for the price. But we need to know which line to trust and when. In a fast trend, we use the 20 SMA as our primary level for following the order flow. If the trend is strong, price should respect this line. Price should either tap and go, like this over here, or maybe close a couple of candlesticks below and then immediately turn back higher. If price is starting to accumulate below this 20 SMA too much, then this might be a sign of reversal or a big retracement. In this example, this turns out to be a big retracement. Price comes back all the way to this 200 simple moving average and then bounces away from it. Then it continues the trend. But in some other occasions, price would just come close to the 200 SMA and then turns back higher without tapping into it. But remember this one thing. This only works if this slope we talked about earlier is still in our favor. A line only works as a support or resistance if the market actually has the energy to defend it. If we look at the most recent price action, we can see that price has been above the 20 SMA and it was bullish. Then it started going sideways, closing back and forth above and below the 20 SMA. Eventually, price started to accumulate or consolidate below the 20 SMA. It was using the 20 as a ceiling and 200 as a floor. So it consolidated and moved sideways for a while. Right now, it seems like price is closing below the 200 simple moving average and we might see a bearish crossover if price keeps expanding lower. If I see a gap lower in the next week and then close below this weekly candle's low over here, this low, then I will be leaning towards bearish setups in intraday in the coming weeks. These 7 rules aren't just a strategy on their own. They are a confluence layer. Whether we are trading supply and demand or specific setups like SBS, these moving averages give us the objective context we need. They filter out the noise so we can focus on high probability moves. This is the third video in our tutorial series. If you haven't seen the first 2, go back and watch them to see how these pieces fit together. If you want to see how we apply these 7 rules in real time, come join us on the daily live streams. We are here every morning to observe, study, and explain the Nasdaq price action live. I'm not interested in going viral. I am here to build a community of disciplined traders who value transparency and real execution. If that's what you are looking for, I'll see you in the next live stream. Let's get to work.